you kind of think of the mindset that you would have had while you joined, but did you have the mindset to say, from what I'm doing, I need to get better? I had in my mind the growth perspective in my current job. That is a very important aspect as well. Right? Job growth perspective is not in the current job only, Anshul. Maybe it adds to your CV, and basis the current job plus your additional degree, you get into a job that actually helps your growth. We've had a lot of problems with, currency translation adjustments and CTA adjustments. And, I don't know why our OCI is not reconciling, right, all the time. Now imagine you sitting in that meeting and trying to decipher this without a CPA, right? Well, how will the situation be? You'll just be like sitting with hands crossed, waiting, listening, watching a tennis match. Nightmare. Where things turn for you is this, that when you get in that conversation, there'll be somebody who will be speaking with half understanding but still will be speaking, but you will have the fantastic base, and you will say, we should actually take the remaining OCI and charge it to P&L because of the following reasons, and this is the reason why gap is there, and hence your OCI will reconcile. Maybe that's something you can try. Your CFO sitting in that meeting will say, fantastic, Tarun, you actually understand the perspective, and can you explain to me in more detail how should we go about it, right? The CFO is not in the details, right? He's usually at a more strategic level, right? And he expects you to be in the details, and if you demonstrate that, imagine the amount, and it will not happen every day, every minute, every hour that people are walking in, queuing up to you and trying to get advice. It will happen in a situation where there is a problem. People are looking to solve the problem. The problem is not fully understood. People are trying to struggle with it. You may put up your hand and you will say, look, I have some understanding, modestly, right? You will show you all your modesty and you will say, I have some understanding, whereas you would have had a fantastic hard work done to clear your CPA exam, but you'll still be very modest and you'll say, I have a little bit of understanding. Can you let me, analyze this problem? You'll take your time, analyze it, and you'll come up with a beautiful explanation. Now, would you have ever been able to come up with this explanation before the CPA exam? Impossible, right? Unless you have 20 years of work X, right, in the same space, or 10 years of work X in the space. That's a different story altogether, right? But imagine adding this fundamental and base to what you're doing. You will immediately begin to shine. People will start looking at you as a subject matter. And this is where I think I come to Anshul's point to say, yes, this is a growth perspective. But don't disappoint yourself to say, I did my CPA and now nothing is happening. It doesn't happen like that. It's like a cricketer, right? All of you watched IPL and all of that, right? What happens, right? One good innings, right? Swing the bat left and right, one good innings. Suddenly people say, oh man, this guy can hit a lot of sixes out of the ground. Let's give him another chance, right? If he's genuinely very good or he got it by fluke, if he's genuinely good, he'll perform again. And this is what exactly happens, right? But what is that? It took a lot of hard work to get selected in the team. It took a lot of hard work to get your CPA done. You were someone who was executing, had no idea US GAAP. Whenever the US GAAP question came, you just passed it on to the next person or said, let me go talk to him and understand from him. But no, now you're changing and say, I understand this. Now, you don't have to know all 4 subjects, front to back, all pages and all special. That will never happen. So there'll be, suppose you're working on international taxation, right? Some of you may be working. There could be questions on, look, I'm an individual, but, I have a trust in the US. My trust, is taking care of this and this. I don't know what to do with this. Now I'm in India, COVID, I'm stuck. How will you advise me? Then you'll go back and think, let me go back to the residency rules first. 30 days in India, 60 days in India, 30 days outside US, 180 days, 182. You'll start doing all the calculations. But tell me, without reading reg, would you have in your dream imagined that somebody would have come to you and discussed how many days I'm in India? You'll be like, how does it matter? You will first call him an NRI because he came from the US, right? Without knowing that the residency in terms of taxation is very different from residency in terms of, general language that people speak. If people spend 1 year in the US, they'll call them NRIs and they'll be happily looking at them like that. But now you guys won't have that. You'll be like, I understand, he spent 1 year there, so he's escaped tax in India. Clever chap. He spent 2 weeks in Mauritius, 1 week in London, 3 weeks in Dubai, and then he split the 182 days in India and 182 days in the US in a nice way, because and he's not a tax resident in both. Escaped tax very nicely. Middle East, no tax, so nothing to worry. Right? So he planned himself really well and saved a lot of tax. So you will start to think like that. This is one differentiation that it will start to create for you 100%.